What's going on, everyone? So, Scott Foley, who plays Roman in Scream 3, was recently on Kelly and Mark, which, by the way, Mark is going to be in the upcoming Scream 7 as well, but did a whole interview, and he talked about his return to the upcoming Scream franchise, that he is indeed back, and he also confirmed that he is dead. That his character, there's not going to be some, like, twist or surprise or anything like that, Roman is alive and well, and just living his best life in, an island somewhere and manipulating the strings from behind, right? Which is good, right? I don't want a bunch of dead characters coming back to the Scream franchise, right? I've maintained I'd rather, what's dead, stay dead, personally. I know certain characters, the fandom wants to return, particularly Stu, but, you look at Roman and just what happened to him at the end of Scream 3, I don't want any off-the-rails things to start to happen, personally. That's my opinion. But to get into what exactly he said, and then I'll dive into the rest, is Scott Foley talks about Scream 7. Look, man, it's Scream. I had a conversation with Kevin Williamson, who's directing this one, and he wanted me to come back and play a small part. And I was so excited to revisit the character, even though he died. And he made sure to make it clear that he died. So, Scott Foley returns and reprises his role as Roman. I imagine, because, he even says it's a small role. So my guess is that small role is probably either a flashback, right? Maybe we get a flashback scene that gives us some new information to kind of tie in to this maybe full circle moment in Scream 7, or the voice changer box, right? A lot of talks about that they're going to do a modern Scream 3 Ghostface voice changer, which makes sense, right? There have been little gems throughout these recent installations of Scream that have tied into the past, and the voice-changing box is something that's always been kind of curious to us fans, right? Back in 2000, it was a little less believable. It wasn't as believable as some people make it out to seem, right? Or make it out to be, because, they had things that could, record voices and play back and all that stuff, right? Was it a little high-tech for the time? Sure. I wish they would have kept, so there was a deleted scene that showed how Roman made the voice changer and how it worked. I wish they would have kept that in the film. That would have been something that I think would have made it more believable, because it was a lot more believable when he did it that route. But there were things like I talked about, they used to have toys that you could voice record. It was like a little almost box. I don't really know how to explain. I don't remember the name of it, but it had a microphone and it had all these little soundbite things, and you could record your voice and change your voice sound and stuff. And then they used to have the megaphone that could make your voice sound all robotic and things like that, and these little different playbacks and stuff. And then I've talked about the Teddy Ruxpin doll, where you could record your voice and it would talk back to you, or somebody could record their voice and add little tape cassettes in the back, right? I'm sure many of you probably know what I'm talking about, but I'm sure there's some that are I don't know what any of this stuff is, and that's fine, right? It was a different world back then. But obviously being in the 20s, right? The 2025 with AI and with the technology we have today, it's just much more believable. You can now take people's voice and all the deep fakes and all that stuff. So it's a lot easier now, and it's a lot more believable now, and it's actually doable now, unlike, where you had to kind of stretch it a little bit back in 2000. So I could see Scott Foley returning to the fold, and that's the route that they take. That's the approach that they take. Look, the biggest kind of signal to that is it appears like all the Ghostface are coming back, right? Timothy Olyphant as Mickey is supposedly coming back. Jill is supposedly they're all apparently coming back. So, Stu, right? Matthew Lillard, we have confirmation. Matthew Lillard himself has even confirmed that he's coming back. Obviously, again, a lot of people want him to be alive, but it's arguably, if not more likely, that it's going to just be something in regards to, like I said, the voice changer or a flashback, maybe Roman and, Timothy Olyphane, Mickey, right? Maybe he was tied in somehow, or, him and Stu, right? Like there's probably going to be some tie-in. I could see maybe a flashback, but there's no, obviously the big reveal, and I would imagine they'd keep it a secret if Stu really does return. And I've even said if they were ever going to do it, now would probably be the time that's probably best. I don't want it to happen. I still don't think that there's a realistic, reasonable argument to bring him back, right? I have yet to hear anybody give like a plausible reason that just like wouldn't take hours of explaining or like an entire film to explain. And then people are willing to kind of look past details that are like relevant when you're talking about that stuff. But I get it. Like fans, they want what they want, and they're willing to look past certain things in order to get that, right? We all have our kind of the things that we're hoping for with the Scream franchise and stuff. My only thing is like, just don't get your hopes up, right? I know a lot of people really want all these guys to be back, or some of these characters to be back, and it's a quick way to get disappointed if you're assuming that because Matthew Lillard's coming back to reprise his role as Stu, that means that he's back as the killer, right? Or Roman, he's reprising his role. Scott Foley is reprising his role. That means that maybe Roman had a twin brother or something like that. Again, don't get your hopes up. Obviously, none of these actors are going to reveal what happened. Of course, Roman and Matthew and all them, they're going to say like, oh yeah, I died, right? Like, it's over, because you don't want to spoil the surprise if it is a surprise. And I get that people are holding on to that surprise, but just keep in the back of your mind, don't get your hopes up, right? Don't just assume that because Matthew Lillard's back or Scott Foley's back or any of these people are back, that means like, oh, for sure, they're in this film. But if you can do it in a creative way and have a creative capacity in which these guys are in the film, sure. Right, like I said, a cool flashback scene that maybe gives us some new information, gives us some new details, the voice changer. I mean, obviously, we'd love to see them on screen, right? If it's like just their voice, I'm not gonna lie, it'd be a little disappointing. I mean, I don't want these characters to come back. I want it, the dead to stay dead. But I would like to kind of, if you're gonna do something with them, I'd like it to be something where we get to see them visibly on screen. It'd be kind of cool if, like, I don't know, some Ghostface had a bunch of footage or something, and you got to see like the various killers from footage that was recorded. I don't know. You can be creative. I mean, at the end of the day, it is a movie, and there is going to be some movie logic, but I want them to still maintain as much realism as possible. I still want them to maintain as much of the integrity as possible with Scream. But those are my thoughts and opinions. And as always, I pass the question on you. Let me know yours down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel? What are your thoughts? Do you want to see Scott Foley come back and reprise his role as Roman? Do you want just a simple little cameo or flashback or whatever? Again, however you feel, whatever your thoughts are. Either way, I'd love to hear it. So let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. So we enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel. What are you doing? Hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.